Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
All right, everyone, it is Sunday Night Live, and we are back live on YouTube, the preparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, Facebook, and everywhere that we were connected to. Who knows where the network goes today? And then it'll be uploaded, I think, to Rumble, BitChute, all over the town, all over the place. This is your show, and you are funding it with Super Chat donations. That's right. Everyone who is here can participate in the show, talk in the comments. Oh, if you're a new subscriber on YouTube, you got to hit the subscribe button and wait 5 minutes, and then you can start commenting. But that Super Chat button is how we guarantee your thoughts get on to the board. We also have Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. You guys fund this. That's the commercial. That's the commercial. Now, let's have some fun with it. Coming right out the gate is Chin Music. And, one last thing. Anyone who does a $50 or bigger Super Chat donation buys me a scotch. And this week is Buchanan's Deluxe. And what the heck is that? Some kind of thing, a stopper? Trying to stop me from getting at my own scotch? This is a tragedy. It's a tragedy, I tell you. What the fuck is this? I don't remember this being this. There we go. What the hell? Some kind of slow pour system. Anyways, we've got you guys coming up. Chin Music has a lot of stuff to talk about, and so we're going to get to that. We've got Darcy T. We've got a police officer in the chat leaving questions, or a former police officer. And I want your questions, your comments, interactions with each other. And Uman and Jolene, who are the moderators, will be not Danny. This is Chin Music. Semper Fi, Chin. Whoop, down the hatch. Okay, here we are. We've got, he says, I'm of the age to recall peacenik commies spitting on Vietnam vets. Now they call you a Putin stooge if you don't want war with Ukraine. And that is ridiculous. It really is. You're a Putin stooge. You're a Russia puppet. This is literally one of the weakest debate techniques ever. It's called ad hominem. When you don't have a legitimate argument or debate, you reduce yourself to calling the other person names. So you're a Putin stooge. No. Argue with me, right? What has Putin done other than protect his own people, accept new provinces, and fight off someone who's ethnically cleansing and then wanting to bring NATO into his border, which is in violation of all kinds of things? You're not a Putin stooge for seeing through it, for seeing that while the Russians aren't the world's greatest guys, no government is. And what the little weasel has been doing in Ukraine. There's been a lot of that coming out this weekend. And by little weasel, I mean Timu Zelensky, Voldemort Zelensky, the leader. He's in charge of the country. And what has he done? Well, we've discovered that they've got 27, count them, 27 bioweapons labs. They have a huge criminal, obviously, human trafficking operation there, including children, as well as involuntary, and I mean involuntary, organ harvesting and selling. What the hell is that about? But, we need to be mad at Putin. Anyways, let's continue with Chin Music. He says, the commie Dems love to call us racist and sexist, which is weird, considering they can't define either one, what it means to be a racist or a sexist. And they can't even define which gender is which and which sex is which. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's true. I mean, these are just quick thoughts. Democrat politics and government, the only places you can fail miserably and expect to get a raise. We've seen that time and time again now that the Department of Government Efficiency is releasing information. Unbelievable. And the stupider you are, the higher and faster and further you seem to go. Right? We'd never heard of her until Jasmine Crockett started spouting off with racist crap about, anti-whites. At the same time, she is the racist. Crazy business, right? And then we're going to finish off Chin Music with a quote he gave me from Elon Musk. He says, "I care about the reality of goodness, not the perception of it." I'm going to read that one right here again. I care about the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And I think now, man, that would be a fine time to lay into the comment we were discussing just prior to the show. As we were in the green room talking there, coming from the law enforcement fellow. And it is C, and I really appreciate this because I think it invites a great deal of productive discussion and commentary. He says, folks, these people just got into office. Arrests don't happen immediately. So then I'll go back to Elon Musk. He says, I care about the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. So C continues and says, investigations are like a tree. It starts with the trunk. But as soon as someone's name is mentioned or a situation is mentioned in an interview, then you have to go investigate that other person. So let's go back to the original statement by C and not erase anything. We may revisit that one again. They just got into office. Arrests don't happen immediately. I completely understand that. But these crimes that are being talked about by us have been brought out for years and years. Starting with James Comey, well over 4 years ago, right? Committing crimes, letting crimes go. You talk about Jamie Raskin. You talk about Schiff, Nancy Pelosi. You talk about these main players, Hillary Clinton. The crimes are well known. The investigations have been conducted. The paperwork is readily available. Right? These people, yes, they were just put into office, but you cannot tell me for a second that they didn't know what was coming, that they weren't aware of the investigations and the evidence. Yeah, there's what's made available publicly, and then there's what's behind the scenes, right? What they really know. And they know a lot. Now, PR, public relations, photo ops, going on TV, those are a perception of goodness and a perception of action, right? An uninformed person might go, oh, yeah, Pam Bondi is on TV. She's been lots of interviews telling us what's going on. She hasn't told us what's going on. She's continuing to give us stories, the perception of reality, perception of goodness. But the reality is these people have committed serious crimes. And the crimes have been pointed out by FBI agents. How about General Flynn? You think he knows something about crime? Other people that have been accused of crimes, like, I don't know, Roger Stone. But yeah, they don't have the badge. They can't make the arrest. But guess what? Little old women, patriots, on January 6th, 2021, were in Washington, D.C. at a protest, at a rally. And the FBI arrested all of them based on an accusation, a belief that they were on the scene. The police, the FBI showed up in people's homes, pointed guns at them, right? The arrest happened immediately. As soon as they figured out who they were, they arrested them immediately. And then they drugged them back to D.C. in most cases. And then they booked them. And then they sat in jail while the police, the prosecutors, the government tried to make a case, gathered evidence. We know these fucking people in Washington, D.C. are guilty. Guilty. They could go and arrest them, put them in jail, and then go, and now we're going to figure out what we're going to charge you with. We've got all of these great options to choose from, right? The lowest being criminal mischief, all the way up the realm to treason. Treason. You know, like a Major Vindeman, the guy who leaked information, phone calls. How about Secretary of State Ratspermberger in Georgia, right? Getting a phone call, releasing it, mischaracterize it. How about members of the media taking Trump out of context, taking others out of context? How about the police officers that made illegal arrests, false arrests? How about the police officers that killed people on, you guessed it, January 6, 2021? You have the crime in view. You don't need to have a complete investigation with all the evidence and all the witnesses prior to making the arrest. We want some fucking arrests. And we were told day one we would have the Jeffrey Epstein files, the names, the book, the evidence released to us. And the claim that it's national security is a cop-out, sellout bullshit. Where's all the evidence on the shooter that put a bullet through Trump's ear on back in, was it July, right, in Butler County, Pennsylvania? Secret Service was involved, FBI was involved, local police was involved, allegedly the governor was involved. Arrest them and finish the evidence, right? Kash Patel this weekend decided that he wants a different security detail that is non-FBI. Why is that? Well, it sounds to me like they don't have control of the FBI, the Department of Justice. I get that that's a problem. See, I'm watching everything, but one of the surest ways to defeat an enemy is to attack them, not hide from them, not try and play 5D times 6D equals 30D chess. Quit playing fucking games and do arrests. Period. They need to impeach judges. That needs to happen. They need to start passing some laws in the Republican House of Representatives and the Republican Senate and get laws passed. First and foremost amongst them is paper ballots, hand counting, no illegals, must show ID to vote. So simple. And guarantee the next election, the midterm, is not dicked with. That's what I'm saying. But, I appreciate law enforcement coming on here and saying, this is how it should be done. But when you have a suspect who's willing to commit crimes, right? You arrest them. When you see someone has committed a crime, kind of like, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who hired an illegal, got him some kind of a social security number he's operating under, is paying him a nice hefty salary, right? She's violated numerous laws. How about the fact that Pocahontas, lying Hontus, Liz Warren, the fake Native American, taking money that was supposed to go to, I think, Red Cross and funneling it into Act Blue, a Democrat campaign slush fund? The crimes are there. Crimes are there. Yes, Jolene, I did. I ended up hitting the button and then hit a button. Anyways, that's a side conversation there. I want to thank you, C, for your thoughts on that. And I want to thank Chin Music for the $57.62 super chat donation. And now we're going to move on to Darcy T. And she has done a $50 PayPal super chat donation. So here comes a little more Buchanan's Deluxe. And it is a 12-year blended scotch. It's definitely a different kind of pour here than I'm used to. There we go. Anyways, you can really tell difference from one scotch to the next. All right. So before we get into Darcy T, thank you for the great support. Thank you to you, one and all, for coming. Hit the thumbs up, hit the heart, hit the like, hit the share button, share the internet address, get it out to friends, family, coworkers, and even people you don't like, just to piss them off. It's time to wake up, America, and this show is about, well, it pisses me off, the things I read. So if you get pissed off at the things I say or read or we discuss, that's good. Now you can think about it, talk about it, share, and we all get to learn. Down the hatch. Here we go. Darcy T says, what is your take on Trump saying that he is not ruling out a recession? Trump, talks about short-term turbulence with all of the recent changes he's made. But the economy and the markets are taking a dump, and who is to say that they will ever recover? Some of the executive orders were good, but I'm not sure about others. Your take. Darcy T, thank you for the great super chat donation, which got me a scotch, and the great questions, because this is an incredibly important topic. I have actually spent the weekend working, reading and reading and reading and reading and reading and reading and researching and reading some more. And I've done a lot of economic stuff because this topic, recession, is going to hit very soon. If not this coming week, I believe by the end of March. Recession, folks, the numbers are there. They have been hiding and covering all they can. I've been talking about recession, I think, since 2019. But then we got COVID and the COVID cover, and then we got a bunch of money thrown out. They've been playing games, in other words, playing games. But now that we have a Republican, especially Trump as president, is it time to stop lying about the figures? I mean, literally, every time they did an unemployment report, they said unemployment is down, or we've created more jobs. And then anywhere from a month to 2 months later, they go, what, those January numbers we told you about didn't quite have as many jobs as we said. Oh, and the unemployment numbers, yeah, they were a little higher. Right? The GDP, it was a little lower. The inflation was a little higher. Right? They lied, in other words. Government lying. Government lying. Government lying. Government lies. So is Trump lying? No, I think he's trying to be honest in this case because a recession is coming. And both the talking heads and actual economists say it's really going to be difficult to hide it. Right? Trump is doing a lot. He's taking a lot of actions. So when he's talking about, as Darcy T talks about, turbulence, short-term turbulence, I think we could end up with a lot of turbulence, folks. A lot. Remember, Ronald Reagan came in to office, and we, the people of the United States of America, were feeling the Jimmy Carter economic slowdown, recession, pain, whatever you want to call it, and mega inflation. Okay, we had that. It was real. We all knew it. There was no lying. The TV didn't bother hiding it. But with Biden, they did. They hid the inflation. We don't know what you're talking about. Even though they made jokes left and right, did they not? Like this?
I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything. No, it really has been a tough first year for you, Mr. President. Gas is up, gas is up, gas is up, everything. Rent is up, everything, everything, everything. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, gas is up, rent is up, food is up.
Everything. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. Everything was up at the end of Biden's first year, and it was a fucking joke. Right? And Trump inherits that after 4 years of Biden doing everything he could. Right? Now they're trying to say, everything was great in the Biden era. And now we're going to see, inflation. They're already getting after people. How do you like them high egg prices? Right? I didn't elect Trump to fix egg prices. I elected Trump to arrest the bad in prison or just hang them and fix the economy. So how do you fix the economy? By removing bad spending, by lowering other spending, by cutting all the fat out. And by the way, I was responsible for doing this with another group of managers at a large business back when Obama took office. We had to go from bleeding, I don't know, $200,000, $300,000 a month to breaking even and then making money again. It was tough. You had to make a lot of cuts. So that's what Trump is doing, right? The markets are taking a dump. They were already taking a dump. And when we say taking a dump, right, the market's just going down. We're talking about the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500. And that's happening, folks, not because you and others aren't putting your money into your 401k like a good little citizen. The reason they're going down is because people like Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon, I'm sure Larry Fink, and other super rich bastards, what are they doing? They're selling now at the market high, and they don't care if the market comes down. They just sold what they needed to sell to secure profits and to reserve and hold cash. I think, help me out on this, man, if I get it messed up. I believe Warren Buffett has cash reserves that would embarrass billionaires everywhere, literally embarrass people everywhere. It is crazy. You know what it is? He's got like $200 billion in cash. He's just cashed out of all of his holdings, whether I think it was B of A and Apple and other things, right? They're sitting on cash. They're not only are they going to wait for the market to come down so they can buy at a discount, they're actually so big, BlackRock, Vanguard, Berkshire Hathaway, these large investment funds and hedges and family offices, they can cause it to take a shit. And they've got no problem doing it because they're going to buy low. And then this is where we'll address Darcy T's question. She says, and who says they will ever recover? Well, these rich people and these rich funds, they want it to go back up. They don't want to have it drop and then buy and then have it go sideways. So they're going to want a nice big U. And it may take 6 months or a year or 2 years. And Ronald Reagan, when he took office, like I said, the Jimmy Carter era was an awful time to be alive. Buffett is sitting on, I was incorrect, folks. I said 200 billion. Silly me. $334 billion in cash. JPM, that's John Piermont Morgan, JP Morgan Bank sold 234 million worth of JPM stock. Was that, I think that was just the CEO, Jamie Dimon, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah, Oliver's giving me, that's Jamie Dimon. That was his own personal holdings. Anyways, yeah. Hundreds of millions and even hundreds of billions of dollars are now parked on the sideline, arms crossed, waiting for everything to come down because they know it's going to come down. But they do expect it to go up as well. Now, how it goes up is interesting. I want to throw this at you guys real quick, by the way, before I continue. Super chat buttons up there. If you got a question, comment, thought you want on the screen, we'll make you famous. Or down below in the description of the video is PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, and pow, right there. Jolene's on it. If you want to make a super chat donation and get your thoughts on the board, do it. Keep it. There's so much going on, folks. World War III, economic crash, domestic issues, international issues, disease, war, famine, pestilence. Holy crap, it's shit hitting the fan. Indeed. You've got to be ready, folks. You really do. Now, I believe Trump's executive There we are. Let's hear it for the internet, right? Yeah. So Trump's executive orders are doing what they're supposed to. He's cutting spending. He's cutting out employees. He's doing what he can because government needs to be more streamlined. He's finding through DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, where they are funneling the money through, stealing it. Dare I say, laundering money and kickbacks to themselves and their good buddies. It's coming, right? It's coming. Turbulence we're going to have. Hard times are coming. The markets are going to take a dump. We just don't know how much, right? We don't know how much is coming. We just know it's coming. And by the way, I can kind of feel those nice little shots of scotch hitting the spot. So let's do it. Let's have some more fun. Jolene, Uman, who do we want to put up on the board next on the Prepared Mind channel? Sunday Night Live, and we got Bioxo77. And he says, $1.99 super chat. Kapow. He says, now the Hamptons and Long Island on fire? Insanity. Yes, it is. Don't forget, we had Hawaii. Lahaina, folks. Lahaina. A lush tropical island. It is on the west side, which is the leeward side of the island, but still, lush rainforests right there. I've actually gone on a jungle tour back in 2018 in Lahaina, and I don't know how that place could burn. It's not like it's a dry, crispy forest. It's a fucking tropical island. Lahaina, Maui burns in Hawaii. Then we have the Los Angeles fires. And then, don't forget, somehow we got fires in the mountains of North and South Carolina in the middle of winter, just weeks ago. And then we got, you guessed it, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Once again, the end of winter. It's not even spring. Somehow we have raging infernos. And now we've got the Hamptons, Long Island, up in New frickin' York, folks. We're not talking about dry, crispy-ass Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Southern California. We're not talking about the brittle days of August and September. This is fucking March. And they've got incredible wildfires, brush fires. Insanity, yes. Now, can I say it's directed energy weapons? No, I can't. I don't know, because I'm not part of the super secret government. But it sure seems odd, does it not, that all of a sudden fire trucks and fire people don't know what they're doing? Maybe you want to get Pam Bondi on that, since she's been so good about arresting everyone else. And I am being completely 100% facetious. And Kash Patel, he needs a new security team. Sounds like he smells a stinking rat in the FBI. Why isn't he firing people? Fire your section heads. Fucking fire them. Right? Arrests. Now, I get it. Right? I like my weekends. I worked all fucking weekend. I did not go to UFC and sit down with Mel Gibson and for photo ops. That's what Kash Patel did. Don't you think he should be going over investigative reports and lining out who gets arrested next, including people in the FBI like James Comey? How about Ruby Rod Rosenstein? How about Peter fucking Strzok? We don't have the evidence on him. How about Christopher Wray, the director, who sat on his fucking hands forever? Anyways, yeah. We don't need to investigate the Long Island Hamptons fire because, they're busy not investigating everything else while they go on television or go to a UFC fight while I sit at home on the weekend and investigate everything from my chair. Anyways, damn it, folks. I love it. You guys have some great freaking questions today. It is Sunday Night Live. This is the zoo where we got the preparedmind.club. Subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, where we got everyone is here. Live for free, live. But if you want your questions on the board, if you want to be famous and really take this show anywhere you want, do a super chat donation and we'll get you on the board. Jolene, who do we have next? We have it is Soft Kitty number 9 with a $50 super chat donation. And folks, you guys, literally, honestly, we've got bills to pay, lights to put on, we got spam and tuna fish to put in there, as well as making sure we do have absolutely delicious scotch. And by the way, this particular bottle of scotch came from Chin Music. He said, John, you need a break from that Glenlivet. That's true. I really got attached to that 15-year Glenlivet. May need to mix it up and get some Glenfiddich in there. But, hey, it's my friend Boomer. Let's go back to Soft Kitty and her $50 super chat. Thank you, Soft Kitty. Pow. She says, is there any more news on the Amish children being forced to take the Jabbity juice, Kool-Aid? I like that. I like to call it the Jim Jones juice, but I like Jabby juice Kool-Aid. And she says, have the parents sued to stop it? Picked 2 news stories. Okay, let me tell you what I know. The Amish did not Jones juice, and the Amish don't take any Jim Jones juice for anything, right? They believe in living and letting your body develop immunities, and it seems to work, right? So now the Amish children are being forced. I don't think the Amish are going to go for that. You know, the Amish have been picked on for years. I mean, who hasn't made a good Amish joke, right? Right, there's a lot of good Amish jokes, but they're good people. I haven't met any truly Amish people, but I have met Mennonites out on the West Coast. They're kind of like Amish with Cadillacs. They like a comfy car, but they do work the farm. They grow the beard. They wear the funny clothes. They got the funny hats, and they like to be left the fuck alone. The Amish have been attacked by governments, state governments mostly, over their milk and their cheese and their dairy products, their eggs, their farm produce. And they want to go after the people. You see, it's not about just controlling food. It's about controlling people. The Amish have said, we're opposed to it. It's against our religion. We're not hurting anybody, and you don't get to tell us what to do. So it's my opinion that they're going to continue to fight it. But there's a reason now. There's a reason now that they're going after the Amish, especially if they can get away with it. And it won't be the federal government, in my opinion. I think it is the state governments, especially the government of Pennsylvania. I think the governor there is Josh Shapiro. They don't like that the Amish were registered to vote, right? Which is something everyone else does. And I'm sure the state of Pennsylvania would love to say, well, you've created a paperwork nexus, a connection that binds you to the state now. Therefore, the state has jurisdiction over your lives, right? The Amish registered to vote. The Amish voted, and the Amish pushed Pennsylvania over to President Trump. I know we're doing a little bit of a callback here on, where we were. But I believe the Amish are fighting. I'm not completely 100% up on the news, Soft Kitty. I want them to keep fighting. I want the rest of the world to be fully aware as these things come into view, right? Because they kind of represent a callback to when times were simpler, people were simpler. I mean, they live without electricity, without the internet. They live without cars. It's fascinating knowing they could have all those luxuries, and they don't. They don't. But they manage to get along just fine. They're healthy. They probably didn't even know they were supposed to have illness, right? In fact, one of the longtime jokes is, do you guys, how come you don't have cerveza bug? And they're like, we don't have television. We didn't know we're supposed to have it. It's just that simple. anyways, and as far as attorneys, I don't know if the Amish can afford really good attorneys, but they have been fighting against government for a long time to leave them alone. Lots of questions out there, folks. Do we have a right to tell the government to, well, go to hell, leave us the hell alone, get off our back? Yeah, we do have that right, but does the government have the authority, or at least the power, to force us? And the answer there has been, yeah, they've been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. How do we stop them? We communicate like we do right now. We share information and we help others the way you guys help this channel. And then I bring out news and we spread it to everybody, an opinion. And again, I pay my taxes. I'm not a criminal, but I hate paying taxes. I hate it. And I hate thinking that the government can try and pass statutes and then accuse me of being a criminal because, I'm not aware of it, or I don't like their statutes, their laws. In any event, I want people to not be afraid of government. Not be afraid of them. To stand up for themselves and others and shout down your enemies, right? It's like blowing Jericho's horn. It just, or blowing the horn and knocking the walls down. We can knock down walls, which is why I've been screaming, arrest somebody, arrest anybody, show the world, put the enemy, the bad guys, stop letting them be on the offense and attacking and threatening. Put them on the defense and make them run. Put them in handcuffs. Even if you have to let Hillary go, put her in handcuffs for 71 and a half hours. And then say, well, I guess we're going to let you go at this point. But we got your number, lady. You crooked old bitch. We got your number. Now, again, if Pam Bondi and Kash Patel wanted me and you to relax, all they would have to do is one massive arrest. And we'd be like, damn it, good. Of course, about 5 minutes later, I'd be saying, who's next? And I think that's what they're afraid of. I know Pam Bondi is afraid once they arrest one, they're going to need to arrest 2, and then 4, and then 10. And the bad guys will know once they arrest 1, it's going to be 2 and 4 and 10 and 100. It needs to happen. It must happen to save our republic. Otherwise, we're just playing a game. And our enemies that don't love America, the Democrats, the World Economic Forum, the European Union, Israel, Iran, China, all of our enemies and our supposed allies will come after us. The United States government in Washington, D.C. is one of the few governments that's for sale. The idea behind electing Trump and then having Elon Musk was that they've got so much fucking money, you can't buy them. Literally, at the time of Jesus, 2,000 years ago, if you were given $200,000 a day from the time of Jesus all the way to today, you would still have less money than Elon Musk. $200,000 a day. I could have one of those days and live quite comfortably for some time in my bunker. Anyways, thank you, Soft Kitty, and God bless the Amish for being Amish. Woo! All right, it's your show, folks. Super chat donations, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal down below is how you get on the board. Get your questions on here, and we'll make you famous. For now, let's have some fun with your questions, thoughts. I've got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but I want to get to you guys first because you're paying to keep the lights on and the scotch bottle topped off. All right, Jolene, who's up next? We've got, hey, it's Boomer 21. Oh, Canada. I think that's a Canadian $20 super chat donation. I want to say right off the bat, Canadian socialists, you can fuck off. Canadian whatever's, Labor, Democrats, whatever you guys call yourselves in the Great White North, you can fuck off. The rest of the Canadians we love. I wish we could take all the bad Canadians, put them in a boat, and send them over to England. I love Canada, folks. Maple syrup is great. Canadian whiskey, not bad. Seagram's and Seven, Canadian, Canadian Mist, all that. That's what my stepdad used to drink. Love Canada. Anyways, Boomer. You guys are North Americans, man. I love it. Anyways, Boomer's back. And he says they need to arrest sanctuary city mayors. Right there. You fucking nailed it, man. Yeah. Mayors and governors. Right? The mayor of Boston, the mayor of San Francisco, the mayor of Dallas, the mayor of Illinois, Chicago, right? The big one there, as well as the governor, Prickster. What a fucking prick. How about Gretchen Whitmore, the witch, and Kathy Hochul, and Gavin Newsom, and that jackass at Inslee up in Washington, and the communist prick in Wisconsin, and the mayor of Denver. All of these fucking people talked a bunch of shit. Why haven't they been arrested? They have aided and abetted. They have given comfort and aid to illegals. They have interfered with and prohibited, to the best of their ability, the government. They need to arrest all of those people. If they arrested any one of them, there would be an uproar from people like you, Boomer, and me, screaming and yelling, yes. And the people that hate freedom and liberty, the people that want to be overrun by illegals and have our cultures just destroyed, they would lose their minds. Anyways, Boomer says they need to arrest sanctuary city mayors and all whistleblowers giving the heads up to illegal aliens. Yeah, they're tipping them off. That is aiding and abetting. Right? They should be imprisoned and charged for high treason. Now, Boomer, I like your choice of words. Treason. Why is it treason and not just criminal activity? Because the people that are in this country illegally represent not an individual or a small group, but rather a vast number of people. Millions and millions upon millions. And they are not here because they love America, that they want to immigrate, that they are seeking sanctuary status. Right? No, that's not why they're here. Right? In fact, we found out this weekend from none other than the leader of Venezuela. I think it's Maduro's. This bastard comes out and says, guess what? It was Joe Biden's administration that cut a deal with me to send all of my criminals in Transiguaya, their version, the Venezuelan version of MS-13, their scumbags, up into America. Joe Biden said, yeah, bring them on, man. We'll take them. We want them. Send them. It's an intentional effort to fuck us over. An intentional effort. It is, as you say, Boomer, treason. Because not only did Joe Biden and the Joe Biden administration do this, and Alejandro Mayorkas and the border czar, Camel Toes Harris. But these mayors and these governors participated in a scheme, whether or not it was a close-knit conspiracy. They all followed each other's lead. They contacted foreigners. They got them to send people in. They used non-government organizations, which took USAID money, USAID money, to fund flying them in, boating them in, busing them in, training them in, and pushing them in. And then these mayors and governors took over and said, yes, come, send us your weak, weary, tired criminals. We'll feed them, house them, give them clothes, and even guns so they can start robbing, raping, murdering, and prostituting Americans. Do I sound like I've been on my horse here, Boomer? damn good to have you back on the show, man. Yeah, we had the Prepared Mind channel crushed and destroyed by YouTube. Crushed and destroyed by YouTube. So we came back with John the Prepared Mind. Fuck YouTube. Here we are. And yeah, to all newcomers, be sure to subscribe, be sure to follow, and become a subscriber, a paying member, whatever it takes. Be sure to follow on X. You guys support this channel. You make it happen. You keep me in this chair. Otherwise, shit, I would be serving coffee at Starbucks. If it wasn't for you guys and your questions and support, I'd be loading lumber at a Home Depot, maybe doing dishes at Denny's. I don't fucking know. But I'd much rather be right here. I'd much rather spend my free moments researching, thinking, communicating, so that when I come to the show, of course, Monday through Friday, but also Sunday Night Live. Thank you guys very, very much. Okay, Jolene, where do we want to roll next? What's the next topic that we want to discuss? And it's Crunch a Bunch of Candy with a $2 super chat donation. He says, become a medicine expert. Help friends. Man, no. Well, I'll tell you what. The Prepared Mind Network used to have its own PayPal account. You know what? I think we got in trouble because we were recommending using natural painkillers and joint help for CBD. And then we were also saying, get your fish and dog and cat antibiotics from XYZ company. And because we did that, they're like, you're selling stuff, blah, blah, blah. You're a bad guy. And they killed the account. So now we have a PayPal account down below. And if you want, like that one is for the Prepared Mind channel. But at the preparedmind.club, yes, become a medical expert. Now, let me ask you this question. Are you a medical expert if you go to a doctor? Are you a medical expert if you use webmd.com or mayoclinic.com or betterhealth.com or abchealth.com, right? You can put the symptoms in. And I've done this. And I've told friends to do this. This is not medical advice, though. This is for academic purposes only. Type in all your symptoms. Be thorough. Be honest. And put it on WebMD or Mayo Clinic, right? It'll give you a diagnosis. Go see a doctor. Give them the same information. They'll check your blood pressure. They'll put a stick in your mouth and one in your ear and put a light in there. Maybe even put a finger in your anus if you're over 40 and a male. And then tell them your symptoms. And they'll tell you the same fucking thing as WebMD, which is not AI. It's just a database that searches for those symptoms. And you'll be surprised at how accurate a freaking phone is, right? Or your computer. But literally, you can go on your phone and type that shit in and you'll be shocked. Absolutely shocked. Antibiotics, this is from the Prepared Mother, from Jay's Medical, right here. Right there. That is the website to get your own doxycycline, your own versions, your penicillins, ampicillins, etc. Right? There's 4 major groups of antibiotics that I keep. And then there's also the Z-Pack. And I have to be careful because I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not. Right? Like for my horses, I love horse paste. Horse paste. Horse paste used to be illegal to say what it's actually called. Horse paste. IVERM ... right? Horse paste. I recommended to my son, go down to your Tractor Supply because he had a bad flu. Go down to Tractor Supply. Get yourself some horse paste for your horse. Make sure the weight matches the weight on the tube and take it. And he got better. And a person that hates my guts told me, I'm killing your son. Right? Cured. Done. In 2 days, done with it. Right? So to the best of your ability, become an expert. You also need I would recommend a Davis drug guide. It's a book. It tells you about all the different medications and what they're used for. But there's sections in there on antibiotics. Get yourself, and this is an incredible topic, get yourself at the preparedmind.club. Go there and check in the medicine section, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, right? So when you get to the medicine part, that includes first aid. I've got a first aid kit that any corpsman or medic would love to have. Antibiotics. And just basic stuff. You don't have to go out and get horse nitrofurazone, but you can get hydrogen peroxide for cleaning out wounds. You can get sterile gauze bandages. Get vet wrap, which is like this self-adhesive tape. Once you clean a wound, dress the wound, compress the wound, stop the bleeding, right? Then wrap the wound and secure it, because there's going to come times for some of us, maybe not all, but some of us, if we go back into the summer of 2020, or they shut off the lights, or we get a cyber attack, or the enemies of the United States of America decide to make your life a living hell by turning loose Antifa, BLM, or these terrorists that they've invited into the country. If you get injured, one of the quickest things that can happen is you get a serious infection. It goes internal, then it becomes septic and, well, fatal. So antibiotics will help you there. That's why you need the antibiotics. You need the first aid. You need the appropriate medications that are over the counter. Right? In fact, they're starting to make the IVER ... medication over the counter. It's also apparently anti-cancer. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Not only is it safe for human consumption, but it's a fucking wonder drug. Kind of like they used to advertise Bayer aspirin as the wonder drug. I got to tell you, folks, this has been a great show so far. We're almost an hour into it. I love the fact that you're all here. We've got almost 300 people live, and I want to top 300, head to 350, and then out the freaking door. So share the internet address. Hit the share button, hit the share button, hit the share button. And think of people you know that need to start thinking for themselves. Wake the fuck up. But by hitting the thumbs up or the heart button, depending on what app you're on, it'll tell other people, hey, the show's on. Why don't you come and find out what the fuck is going on the planet? Because we all get to learn from each other. Jolene, who do we want to do next while we're waiting? Waiting and waiting. We got more. Super chat button up there, down below, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. And we've got a long-time friend of the show, Carport Carl, with a 762 super chat donation. Carport Carl, folks, he's been off and on the show. Good God, is it 8 years now, Carl? Yeah, he comes on and off. It's like he just comes out of nowhere. It's great. There's so many people that have been here from the very beginning, like Red October. Early on, Uman came in the scene. Jolene came in the scene. She contacted me one day, and I was like, I guess I'm going to respond. Despite my fear of strangers and women and business charlatans, she's been here the entire time. And Uman, just the most honest people, and everyone that sticks with the show, I've realized you're just honest, good people. Honest, good people. I love it. So Carport Carl says, God bless President Trump and the Prepared Mind Network. Boom! He says, been here since 2018. I thought you'd been here longer than that, man. Well, let's see. 25 and 3. Okay, 7 years. He says, been here since 2018 and miss the travel trailer setting. I tell you, man, that's back in California, Carl. I when I was in my literal Mayday bunker of a house, right? It was a 4,600 square foot bunker with a 3-car garage and 1,100 square foot bonus room. And it was a beautiful house, 40 acres in the middle of literally nowhere, with seasonal creek and animals and food and wildlife. Totally right. That was my prepared mind plan that I've been working on my whole life. And then some personal family issues developed, and lo and behold, I was living in my fifth wheel. Oh, and that's when Carport Carl, right, is what he's referring to, the travel trailer setting. It was great. My good friend Max in Northern California said, I need a watchdog at my industrial park. You can stay there. You can live off the hook with just utilities, and you're good, And I was like, okay, I'll be the watchdog. Anyone comes in the gate after sun goes down, I'll chew their fucking leg off. Right. So he wanted a devil dog on site. And I spent 5 freaking years there. 5 years at the well, it's kind of like a park setting in a way. Trailer park. It was great. And then I decided to go to the RMZ. I spent several months there. And then it was time for the 2020 election. And I felt like I really needed to be back in America on mainland soil, And so I came back to the mainland in Florida, completely relocated on the other side of the country, and down south, and then into deep Florida. Anyways, I miss so much in life, man. I miss that feeling of safety and security in the country. As a kid, as a young man, right? I had 8 years of Ronald Reagan, age 10 to age 18, and my first year as a jarhead was under Reagan. And you can romanticize it, but the world, even though we are facing the threat of nuclear annihilation with our arch enemy, the communists of Soviet Union, I felt safer. I felt like an American, and I wanted that. We got a taste of it with Trump, but then we noticed Trump was getting tripped up. Trump was getting beaten up. Trump was getting hammered. Trump was getting impeded. Trump was getting fooled and lied to by the likes of Jeff Sessions as AG, and then Bill Barr. And then he had James Comey and Christopher Wray and the FBI fucking lying their asses off. We had bullshit lies coming from Hillary Clinton, the Steele dossier, the 51, right, Secret Service mouthpieces, not Secret Service, but rather the agency, the CIA, right? They were saying Trump is a Russian asset, and they started that shit. You could tell that Trump just wasn't going to get anywhere. So here we are now, Mr. Carport Carl, right? I'm 4 years out from going to the RMZ. 4 years ago, I was in the trailer. It was a different time. 35 years ago, it was the time of Reagan. Now we've got, Trump back in office. We got to live in today. Right? Trump is in office, and now we're starting to see the same fucking game playing. What is Pam Bondi doing? We know there's investigations to be done. Throw us a fucking bone and go arrest a big name and scare the ever-loving shit out of the bad guys. I don't want to hear we need it all done, right? You and I, Carl, and everyone, we want to see this. We want to see our country moving in the correct direction, not stagnating and stalling and floundering and being drugged down and mired, right? The travel trailer setting was great. It was a different part of my life. Now I'm ready to piss fire, napalm, and spit nails, drink scotch and spit, and just go after the bad guys. I'm ready for it. We won the fucking election. Let's go after the bad guys. Let's arrest them and throw their asses in jail. Let's prosecute them, put out the evidence, and have them convicted because the crimes are obvious. We need judges that are pro-America. Now, when I said all of that, in the back of my head, I'm listening to myself. And I said, you know what? We've got our hands full. There's going to be fucked up judges. There's going to be tainted juries. And we're going to have to fight that too. There is nothing going to be easy about this. So Trump and his administration needs to kick ass now. They need to kick ass now. No game playing. All right, folks. We're now into the second hour. Super chat donation up here and then down below. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. You got something to say? The world wants to hear it. We're all standing by, waiting so that we can discuss it. You can bring the topics up. I'll shoot my opinion. I'll read the news. I'll read the opinion. I'll read your thought, your look at history, your prognostication for the future. Chance favors the prepared mind, right? What's on your mind? We've got a lot to go on. Who's your life 67? Who's your daddy, buddy? He says, hey, been a long haul. I've watched you from your mansion to the RV to the RMZ to Florida. What a ride. As a kid, up until age 9, my family moved all over the place. Every year I was at a different school, it seemed like. And then I was like, I want to put down some roots. And so I did when I bought my first house. And I was like, I'm going to put down some roots for my sons. I want them to start in a house. So at age 3 and 1, right? We moved up to extreme Northern California and built what you're calling the mansion, the palatial estate. And it was good. But here I am. I've moved around a little bit, but I've settled in the culture and the state of Florida. Totally different than the sub-zero in winters of Northern California. A lot of people still don't believe that we have sub-zero winters in Northern California. You do. Way up north by Idaho and Oregon, up on the backside of the Sierra Nevadas, it is nasty fucking cold. Anyways, we're well over 300 people live. Pow, I just looked. Anyways, Yankee Watchdog says, I can remember you sitting at the dining room table when I first laid eyes on you. I had the dining room table. I had my office. I'd sit on the front deck and smoke a cigar. I'd sit in the garage and smoke a cigar. And then I was at the fifth wheel, smoking a cigar, and outside at the table in front of the green tank or the tool trailer, all kinds of, yeah. It's been a hell of a ride. Shit hit the fan. And it just continues to astound me that people hate this country. Not just the rich people that want to subdue us. Not just the sellout politicians. But the actual people of the country. Not other people around the world. Yeah, they hate us too. But many more love us than hate us. But the people in this country called Democrats. They hate this fucking country. And they hate you and me. They hate you, they hate me because of our opinions, our beliefs, our morality, our desire to live free. For some reason, they hate America, and they're going to try and destroy you and me. I don't know. I don't know if I sound the same as I did 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't know if I sound the same. I feel the same. I'm the same fucking guy. The same thing. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. Right? The same things could happen. Nuclear war, biological war, chemical war, invasion. Right? EMP meltdown. The government shutting things off. An invasion by the military enemy. Right? So many things can happen. So many, food shortages, famine. You got it. But look at what has happened. We are always, it seems like, this close to having something rotten happen. But I think it's because you and I are strong. And now, all of you and me and everyone across all the Prepared Mind networks, the other social media networks, oh, I got to give them credit. They're way bigger than us. We're just a little show here. But we do reach thousands and tens of thousands. And before the Prepared Mind was destroyed and wiped off the internet by YouTube, we had over, last time I checked, and that was 4 years ago, 20 million views. One video alone was 1 million views. We had thousands and thousands on a weekly basis, and like 10,000 plus on every Sunday Night Live or weekend show. It has been an amazing journey with you guys, waking people up, making sure they understand what's going on, that they get prepared, and that they start participating. And that's really where we're at now. Participate in the process or be a victim of the process. Fight back or you'll be defeated. And God bless every one of you guys. You're fucking awesome. I love it. Hey, Jolene. What do we want to do? She's laughing at me. Crunch a Bunch of Candy is back with a $2 super chat donation. And for a guy named Crunch a Bunch of Candy says, if you want a shot at diabetes, buy our candy too. If you want a shot at it. Everything in moderation. I love candy. I absolutely love candy. And Crunch a Bunch of Candy is good stuff. I'm sure in the comments section, I really hope that there's a website down there for you guys to buy the Crunch a Bunch of Candy. It has been sent to me from time to time, and I crunch and crunch and crunch that stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, I've always said for SHTF, you need candy. Let's just say the lights go out. There's a fuel shortage. Something really bad happens in the world. There's a nuclear bomb set off, a mass casualty event, which Washington, D.C. has been saying is possible. Since Trump won the election, the possibility of a mass casualty event, meaning nuclear, biological, chemical attack. And in fact, right before the inauguration, the week before, mostly, they were flying helicopters and special trucks all over Washington, D.C., looking for any rogue nuclear weapons because they emit faint gamma radiation and other types of signals that would alert people to the presence of and location of such weapons. But they don't have to attack Washington, D.C. They don't have to. They can attack Dallas, Sacramento, Boise, Idaho. They could attack Detroit, Chicago. They could attack, Pensacola, Florida, New York City. They could attack anywhere. And that would scare the ever-loving shit out of children, wives, unprepared husbands, and people everywhere. Right? So what do you need at times like that? How do you deal with all that stress, right? How do you take your mind off of it? Well, one of the things is a good cigar, a bottle of scotch, or your favorite liquor or drink. And also for children, candy. Candy, right? Tastes good. They get a nice little happy candy dopamine rush. Don't worry about the diabetes from having a couple of nibbles of candy, but it helps people feel better about things. And that's really what food, water, all these things are about, is having what you need to get by. Right? Having what you need to get by. Very important. Anyways, Crunch a Bunch of Candy has been a long-time viewer, long-time participant, and we've got lots of you guys out there. Let's see, we got Bonnie Blue, we got John, we got Dr. John, we got, good golly, there's too many people to remember. And I lost it. Completely lost it. But yeah, There's been tons of people here. So, Jolene, let's do some more. Who's out there wants to talk about anything? And it's Boomer, and he's back again. Pow! With another super chat donation, $20, big time. And he says, well, it's back to the old grind for Barry. And as for Big Mike, it's on to Oktoberfest. I really haven't paid any attention to Barry, meaning Barack Hussein, Barry Soetoro Obama, and Big Mike is Michelle Obama. There's been jokes on them, and I haven't paid any attention. It's back to the old grind. Now, for a while there was this story that, they're going to get a divorce, right? Of course, we all know that Big Mike Michelle has got a swinging bulge in his pants. That's right. Michelle has something in his pants. And it's always been surmised that Barry Soetoro, which is the pseudonym Barack Hussein Obama, the Kenyan pretending to be an American with a bullshit birth certificate from Hawaii while he was raised in, was it Indonesia or Malaysia? And then went to Columbia University. There's no stories out there anywhere, folks, that Barry Soetoro has a girlfriend. Not one. But there's pictures of a guy named Michael hanging out with Barry who looks just like Michelle, but without the weave, without the hair. And if you've ever gotten a look at Big Mike, I mean Michelle Obama, that bitch has some shoulders and a back. And she is not small. She dwarfs women. Right, that she could be a fucking a linebacker for the Chicago Bears, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, they were going to get a divorce, and now it looks like they're back together. I wonder what's going on there, but I don't really want to know what's going on there. I'm still trying to figure out why they haven't, back to the idea, investigated the death of their chef, who took swimming lessons, wore a life vest, and loved to paddleboard, and he went out on the rough high seas. No, wait. He went out on a fucking pond. A pond, which is a small body of water, to paddleboard, and somehow, with a life vest and swimming lessons and a love for paddleboarding, managed to come off the lifeboard and drown. I wonder if he saw, as the chef of Michael and Barry, I wonder if he saw pizza and hot dogs in the house that shouldn't have been there. Ah, yes. The old German bratwurst in Barry's mouth, I guess, maybe happened. Anyways, Pizzagate is back. Pizza and hot dogs. It is finding its way back. This was way back when I was in the fifth wheel, a.k.a. trailer. The old tenement on wheels when Pizzagate broke. And it was all over the internet, and the facts were coming out, and the names were coming out, and the crimes were coming out, and Epstein came out, and we all knew it. And it was true, and it was gaining steam and momentum. And then that's when it all happened, folks. That's when they killed us. That's when they started cutting new subscriptions. That's when they started blacking out the channel. That's when they started silencing you and censoring our comments. They couldn't have free speech anymore. Pizzagate is what stopped that. That's when we stopped growing. We were at 80,000 subscribers, folks, and they just killed it. All of a sudden, we quit growing. Actually, I take that back. We were at 70,000. 70,000. And sometime, I think it was, what was it, 2021? For 1 month, they turned us loose. I think it was in August of like 21. We got 10,000 subscribers in 1 month. Pow! And then they shut it down again. It was some weird shit. Anyways, fucking Barry and Mike. Arrest them. Arrest them. Pizza and hot dogs. Right? The Anthony Weiner, speaking of hot dogs, Congressman Anthony Weiner and his laptop had a file called Clinton Insurance. It was confiscated by none other than the FBI after other investigators looked at it, and some were brought to tears. Others had to vomit after seeing the Jeffrey Epstein Island footage and videos that contained Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin, who is also the wife of, or was the wife of Anthony Weiner, was then, could be now, I don't know. But that's when it started coming out. Does the FBI have the laptop? How about the Hunter Biden laptop? Why do you think Hillary Clinton erased 33,000 emails and bleach bitted all their computers and took hammers and smashed their phones, and she didn't get charged with anything? Not even destruction of government property, loss of government property, carelessness with government property. Crazy business, folks. Hey, we're an hour and 17 minutes into the show. We go 2 hours every week on Sunday Night Live so we can talk to you guys about anything you want to talk about. It's your show. And right now, Mr. Ooman here has got a question. He says, so, Hunter Biden, who claims to be broke, as in no money, he's going to South Africa for 90 days, accompanied by a Secret Service detail at your expense, our expense. Wouldn't he be considered a flight risk? Yes, he's a flight risk. The man has been on film smoking a fucking crack pipe, snorting coke off of hookers' asses, in interhuman engagements with girls who are significantly shorter than him, dressed in hooker lingerie, but they look to be about age 12. Hunter Biden driving recklessly well above the speed limit in a Porsche, heading from LA to Vegas, doing lines of coke again and smoking crack pipe and weed. This guy is a fucking giant risk. Someone dropped a bag of coke in the White House, and, well, the coke disappeared as well as all the evidence. But then, Hunter Biden, he looks like Zelensky. Always got a nose problem, always fucking with his nose. That fucking guy, right? Unbelievable. They're going to let him go to South Africa? Number one, yeah, he shouldn't have a Secret Service detail. He wasn't the fucking president or the vice president. He wasn't a cabinet member. He's Hunter Biden, the drug-addicted moron son of the president, Joe Biden, a moron himself. But he's going to South Africa, a country that has said, kill the Boer, kill the white people, a completely racist communist regime down there, which has taken every business and stolen it from the owner and given 51% or more to the new owners who must be black. Racist, 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 unbelievably racist. He's going to go there. And I got to tell you, a few years ago, my ex went to South Africa, I think Johannesburg. And I thought, okay, have fun. Not smart. Not a smart move. Why the hell would you go there? Now, I know there's some beautiful country there, and they have penguins that wash up on shore, and they're supposed to have decent wine. I've never had any. But it's just not a safe place, especially now. But Hunter Biden's going to go there for 90 days? Wow. A flight risk? Yes. I don't know why they don't arrest Hunter Biden, because on film, video that you all have seen, Hunter Biden in his tighty whities and his scarf and his sunglasses smoking a crack pipe. I mean, falling asleep with a crack pipe in his mouth, pictures of him. But if you, my friends, decide you're going to do more than 7 miles an hour over the speed limit and the cop sees you, it's your ass. Pull over. You run a red light, pull over. You're doing 15 miles an hour or more above the speed limit, you can be arrested and thrown in jail for reckless driving. You have any drink and drive, and you get pulled over, even if you're not drunk, you can still be charged with driving under the influence, DUI. You get no fucking leeway. You'll pay your taxes, and if you don't pay enough and they decide they want more, you'll pay it anyways. Or you'll pay an attorney more money to try and get that money back, and you'll probably lose anyways, right? You don't get a fucking break. But Hunter Biden claims to be broke, even though he sold how many millions of dollars of art. And this guy's version of art is the same as taking some shit and smearing it on canvas and then calling it art. It's crap. But of course, since his dad lost the election, no one has bought any of his art. So he's broke, but somehow he can afford a 90-day trip to South Africa. What does he do? Go, I'm going to Africa. And the Secret Service says, we're going to go with you. He's like, well, I'll just get on the plane with you guys then. That way I don't have to pay for an airplane ride. Unbelievable shit. Yeah, man, he just might be a little bit of a flight risk. Just a little bit. All right, let's have some more fun. Who's out there? Jolene. Man, who wants to say something? Because we got a lot to say. And it's Nancy Keg with a $5 super chat donation. And she says, I first started watching when you were in the fifth wheel. And when you sat out smoking cigars is when I joined the Prepared Mind channel. Semper Fi, everyone, means always faithful. That is the Marine Corps motto. And I want all Americans, all veterans of all branches of service. It means what it needs to mean, Semper Fi. You may not have been a Marine, but if you're faithful to the country, faithful to the Constitution, faithful to your faith, in other words, you're not weak, right? That it's just something that's right here inside of you, right? Semper Fi. Thank you very much, Nancy, very much. Let's continue if we shall. We've got Jen, 73, with a $5 super chat donation. Pow. And she says, I just wanted to say RM125 Hooligan got me hooked on your channel. Folks, an RM125 is a Suzuki 125cc motorcycle. She says, keep up. I'm thinking Jen is a girl because, let's see, it's a little cow with a bow and some locks. Anyways, keep up the good work, John. Great content. Thank you, Jen. I'm glad you're here. You're a 73, so I'm guessing you're born in 1973. But I got to ride a RM125 once. It was wild back when they were two strokes and they had these narrow power bands. And you just hit it and the wheel would just come right up and off you went. Anyways, good fun. And I'm RM125 Hooligan. I'm glad you got her hooked. It's information. It's thinking. Don't be afraid to comment, folks. Be proud to comment. Use your First Amendment. You can say anything down below. What you like, what you don't like. You can agree with someone. You can disagree. We should be having these conversations about all topics. Not all topics make it on the board, but we should be able to talk to each other and disagree and have fun with it. But, some people are just so fucking stupid. They can't disagree and continue to get along. That would be the Democrats. They're morons. But, it's interesting. The more information we share, though, so what I believe, the more information we share, the more facts that come out, right? Free speech, freedom of press, freedom of opinion, freedom of religion, freedom of thought, freedom of speech. The more you and I become unified in some very important factors, like our country comes first. Our justice comes first. Our traditions come first. Our cultures come first. And anything that conflicts with any of that doesn't have a place in this country. There is no room in America for communism. There is no room for the traditions or the cultures of the Middle East or Northern Africa or Southern Africa. There's no room for that. Now, at your own dinner table, hey, whatever culture and tradition you've got, your family cultures, your family tradition, that's fine. But for the country, for the states, for the city you live in, right, it's America first. And I think that we can all agree on that, and we can all work towards that end. Right? There's a city down in Texas that the local moronic idiots, if it's Texas and it's not, let me know. But I believe it's Texas, that is the first Islamic city in the country. That is a fucking mistake. Look at Ireland. Look at England. Look at Spain, France, Germany. Anywhere these people come, they do not accept the local laws, cultures, traditions, constitution, nothing. And they rape women. They rape little girls and they rape boys. Not to mention stealing, murdering, assaulting, intimidating, abusing all along the way. I have no use for them, folks. Nor do I have use for communists. Oh, Uman says, I think that was in New Jersey. You are probably correct. You're probably correct. I think maybe I was thinking of Governor Greg Abbott in Texas. And there's a secondary kind of behind the scenes going on thing right now, folks. Has to do with Israel. Doesn't have anything to do with Jews or Judaism. It's the country of Israel that tries to pretend that it's all about being Old Testament when it's not. It's a secular country with its own ambitions, its own agenda. Israel has infiltrated Europe and America with its agencies. It's Mossad, which is its version of the CIA, worked with MI6 and the CIA, and they heavily influence government thought and action. Right? That's something that I think doesn't need to be in America. Right? If you want to be a partner with America, you're up front, but you shouldn't be dictating to the country and buying politicians. No country should. Our country should have rules against that. Rules against England or France or Russia or Ukraine. When the United States Congress gave a shit pile of money to Ukraine and all of Congress were waving Ukraine flags, it made me want to puke. Because Democrats won't even wear an American flag on the lapel of their suits. But they'll wave the flag of another country after giving them your money. Absolutely disgusting. I don't like other countries controlling ours. So we've got a lot of, shall we say, a lot of skeletons that need to come out of the closets and be properly buried. That's probably a nice way to say it. Anyways, we're up to 350 people live right now, which means we've already had well over 1,000, and we're going to go higher and higher and higher. But please, thumbs up, heart, like, share that internet address. Let's do it. Let's get into some more questions and comments and thoughts. You guys control the show, the subject matter. Jolene, who's up next? And we've got, holy cow, it's Bonnie Blue, longtime supporter, Pow. And guess what she's done? A $49.99 super chat donation. It's 1 penny under the $50 limit, but I'll tell you what, I think it does buy a scotch right here. That's just a weird little funny thing right there. That little stopper thing in the bottle of this. It doesn't come on the Glenfiddich and Glenlivet. Okay, 1 second. First off, I want to say thank you to Bonnie Blue, who's been a great supporter, great comments, questions, thoughts, helper, friend of the show, friend of the channel, friend to everybody that I know of. Shalom, peace. May God be with you and your family and protect them. Bonnie Blue. Even when I was in the RMZ, she was taking good care of me in the jungle. Thank you, Bonnie. Ooh, ah. And she says this. She's bringing up this topic. Not one, not two, but three spies in the U.S. Army for communist China were arrested last week by the FBI. That's the only arrests we've gotten, and they weren't even on my bingo card. I know they're there. She says a ham asshole from Gaza was arrested by ICE for organizing violence at Columbia University. That is correct. That guy did get arrested. And Barnard, cartel violence. It sure seems foreign actors are creating chaos within the United States of America. Keep prepping. Number one, I agree 100%. Keep prepping. Get your food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, plan. A lot of finger stuff there and making sure my dexterity works. Yes, prep first. And then it's up to you and me, all of us. And if it's just me, it doesn't work. And if it's just you, it doesn't work. If it's just man, it doesn't work. It has to be all of us. Call on the phone. Send an email. Communicate with your congressmen and senators in Washington, D.C., as well as the President of the United States, and say, get these foreign influencers out of our country, whether they're sworn enemies, trading partners, military allies. They should not be here. They shouldn't be in our military, period. Right? If you're a communist, you should not be a part of the military or government. We got so much to do, folks. Trump needs to get it done. Now, yeah, these three spies were stealing information and passing it back to China. They got caught. How many more are doing it that have not been caught? How many more under the Joe Biden administration were stealing secrets? Nuclear secrets, technology secrets, aircraft secrets. Have you looked at the Chinese version of their super fighters? They look remarkably similar to the American jets. I wonder where they got their thinking and ideas and designs from, huh? Right. Submarines, missiles, everything can be stolen from us by spies, including our capabilities, our training, everything. We should be protecting our country, not opening it up to our so-called trading partners and enemies, or even our allies. Right? But we also have foreigners who are calling for violence. We have domestic morons with pink and purple and green hair calling for violence. We have college professors calling for violence and organizing violence with more of these pro-Palestinian scumbags. You know, there's just so much good in the world that needs to happen. There's good, there's good people everywhere. Folks, there's good English people. There's good Scots. There's good Irish. There's good Australians. There's good Spaniards. There's good Israelis. There's good Greeks and Italians and Germans. And all, there's good everywhere. But there's also scumbags. And just like the United States of America, for some reason, the scumbags seem to get power and authority, don't they? And it's hard to kick them the fuck out. It's hard to get them to straighten the fuck up. But it's up to you and me, I think, to keep pushing and demanding that foreign actors, as Bonnie Blue points out, the bad guys, need to stop influencing us. Right? If they truly love America and they truly want our help, ask for help. But don't try buying it. Ask for help, but be decent countries also. Right? It's hard to support Ukraine when they were sending their military, the Nazis. And there's been Nazis in Ukraine since World War II, folks. Back to the 1940s, they had Nazi brigades in Ukraine. They're still there. They're still Nazis. And they were committing war atrocities, rape, murder, and mass murder against Russian ethnic people in eastern Ukraine. It's bad. It's bad stuff, right? In Israel, in Gaza, Palestine, in Jordan, in Egypt, in Syria, we've got good people there and you've got bad people getting killed, because it is the bad people who rise in power and authority who then want to kill others. You and I have that same thing in America. We're good people, you and I. We love America, our country, and we respect the rights of others. But people in power have risen to the top, and they don't like that. And they want to take your free speech, your guns, and your rights, right? Against search and seizure, unreasonable, this and that, protect privacy, blah, 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 no torture, states' rights, etc. But they don't like that, so they're trying to remove it. And they want more disease. They want war. They want famine. That's why they killed those chickens. Because they were innocent chickens, I think of it as murder. Right? Creating food shortages, famine. And then disease, pestilence. Right? These things are biblical, going back to Old Testament stuff. War, pestilence, famine, right? The 4 horsemen. Get prepared. Keep prepping, as Bonnie Blue says. Keep learning, keeping your eye out. Right? Keep up your faith, your beliefs in goodness and God and in America. Right? But be ready to take action to protect yourself, your family, your neighborhood, your country. God bless you all. We're closing down, folks. We've got just under half an hour, but hey, we've got almost a half an hour to go. So let's do it. Let's have some more fun. Let's talk about what's going on, because, hey, you don't have to be a crazy, down on your luck, depressed son of a bitch. No, you can be a proud, happy, loud American. You can prep. You can know who your enemy is, but you don't have to be well, how do we put this? You don't have to be a negative Nelly. You don't have to be down on life. Be happy about life, and this is your opportunity to shine as an American, as a human being. Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel, super chat button was hit by none other than Dan, the man Erickson, $5 super chat. He says, just got here an hour late, was at the range all day. Good time blasting some targets. Well, you got some new toys there, Mr. Dan. Now, here's the deal. I say you need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. That's 5, right? And then this means of self-defense. What's that all about? Well, back in 2020, we learned exactly why we don't have to be at war. We don't have to be invaded by another country. The police will not always be there to protect you. You could have one riot, one massive protest in your city and your county, and all law enforcement will have to be there. And you'll call if you have an emergency, and you'll be told, just as I was told, and many others were told, you are on your own. Now, 2020, folks, was not armed shooting in the streets, because if that had happened, you and I would have solved the problem very quick. There were the occasional shootings. One of those was Kyle Rittenhouse, who pissed off some Antifa fucks, I think 2 of whom were pedophiles. And they chased him. They threatened to kill him. He shot 2 and killed 2 and blew the arm off of another with his AR-15. Because of the range, he was 2 feet from shooting him with his gun, right? He needed a rifle or a gun or some sort of serious self-defense, right? Luckily, Kyle Rittenhouse was proficient enough to protect himself. Other people had to protect themselves as well. Kyle Rittenhouse is the most famous of them because, they wanted to charge him with murder for protecting himself from people who were beating him with a skateboard, threatening to kill him, and pulled a fucking gun on him, right? So, yeah, doing what Dan did. And this is Jen Psaki, if you're out there, Jen Psaki, this is called circling back. Dan says, been blasting some targets. you need all of these items to be prepared, but self-defense, right? Everyone knows how to cook. Everyone knows how to drink water. Everyone should know where their house is and how to fortify and defend it, but self-defense. Please become proficient. Please become proficient. Go to a shooting range. If you don't own a weapon, a lot of them will rent guns. You can take lessons. They'll teach you how to arm or load, how to unload, how to clear a weapon, how to make sure it's safe, how to holster a weapon, how to store a weapon. They'll sell you a rifle, shotgun, handgun. It's comfort level. A lot of people feel a handgun is too dangerous. I think that a 20 gauge, shall we say, defense shotgun is probably the most advisable. If you're not completely proficient, they're easy. They don't have high capacity magazines unless you get an AR style. But most shotguns are simple to use. But rifles, handguns, shotgun, whatever it takes, be sure to have the ability to defend yourself, because the police will not be there for you if things get bad. They'll be busy with other people. Do not count on the police or the sheriffs. Count on yourself, right? Who you are. Talk to your neighbors. I'm sure you know, just looking around, who your neighbors are. If they had a Harris Wall sign in their driveway, they don't like you. And if things get bad, they really won't like you. If they had a Trump sign in their yard, they're on your side. And if they have an Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marine Corps flag, odds are they're on your side. I would say 75% chance. If they were infantry, Army, or infantry, Marine Corps, odds are damn good they're on your side, and they would be a valuable and powerful ally in the event your neighborhood needs protection. Additionally, if they were Marine Corps or Army, they'll be able to help set up defense networks and defense strategies depending on where you live. You don't have to be a West Point or Annapolis graduate. You don't have to be an officer to understand how to protect yourself, your family, your community, and your neighborhood. But good time blasting targets is a great way to spend an evening or the weekend, right? Becoming familiar with taking care of yourself. You have a job, you take care of yourself. You do your own shopping to take care of yourself. Your own bills to take care of yourself. Why wouldn't you protect yourself in times of need? We'll go with that. Thank you, Mr. Big Dan, the man. Now, where are we going next? We got so many topics. Here, I'm not afraid to answer your questions, talk about anything, because this is where I spend my life. Just absolutely mired in all the crazy shit that's going on. It is crazy, too, I tell you. We're coming up on the end of the show. We're down to the last 15 minutes. If you've got something to say, I need you to hit that super chat button or Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. That's how you get on the board, right? You don't have to use your real name. You can whatever your name is, but we'll make you famous if you want. Definitely make you famous. Jolene, who is up next? And it's Dan the Man again. And he says, be thankful your son didn't end up like Bunter Hayden, John. Hunter Biden, Bunter Hayden, Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, we got George Soros or George Soros. I love messing their names up. Anyways, I've got two sons. You know, and I talked to Lucas this morning. He called me, woke me up, and I was like, Luke, buddy, it's fucking early, man. And he says, oh, I forgot. Time change. That's right. What do they call that? Daylight savings. I want the sun to stay up later and come up later. That's fine with me. I wish they would just leave it alone now. Stop fucking with our biological clocks. It has never done me a lick of good my entire life. It hasn't helped. It hasn't helped me feel better. It doesn't make the days better. Nothing. I wish they would knock that shit off. Anyways, my son is not anything like Hunter Biden. Well, in fact, neither of them are, except for, one is more like me politically and the other is not, is hardcore anti-communist. Lucas is hardcore anti-communist. Good kid. Anyways, he's doing good. I think I mentioned that there was, some issues and, got in a fight with two guys and won. I'll just leave it at that. He's a hell of a good man, folks, like you wouldn't believe. In fact, you probably would believe because you're good people. You know good people. And Luke is just the most charming young guy you ever met. And I always wondered, why do people like this guy so much? He's just this radical, crazy, funny as fuck guy, but what a good man. He's getting married in a couple of months. In June, I think, and I can't wait to go. I've got to save money. I've got to fly back to California. Hopefully I don't get arrested and then fly back to Florida. But yeah, I don't think Lucas will end up like any of the Bidens. It's incredible. I hope nobody's son ends up like these fucking people. What an awful way to live. Hating your country, hating your history, your tradition, hating yourself, hating who you came from, and wanting to destroy yourself with drugs and alcohol and becoming just evil. Who wants that for their kids? But that's what Democrats do. Did you know, by the way, that all of these Democrats out here who are pushing their kids to be transgender, did you know that puberty blockers were not originally designed to be puberty blockers? They were designed to be chemical castration for rapists. And then they give them to kids. Isn't that just fucking awful? The drugs they give to criminal rapists are what they're giving to children as puberty blockers. Unfucking believable. You know what else is unbelievable? Is the show's almost over. Holy shit. If you got something to say, let me know. Super chat button right up there. But for now, I want to talk about democracy. We've been told democracy is super important. We don't want to lose our democracy. Well, America is a republic, and we have institutions that have adapted Democrat ideas like voting. Anyways, there is no democracy in Europe, folks. No democracy. They scream for democracy, but there's no democracy. There is only the European Union, EU bureaucracy. In the country of Romania. Did I say Urania? No, I guess got a little holdover from the last scotch. By the way, thank you to everybody for doing those $50 super chat donations. Romania has had the front runner, their version of Trump. Romania has had their Trump blocked from participating in the election. The man, I'm going to pronounce it wrong because I'm not Romanian, but in English we would call him Georgescu or Horhescu. It's George SCU, George Skew. This guy was the front runner. In the parliamentary system, he was the 40% vote getter compared to all the other candidates, because they don't just have two parties in Europe, folks. They have like 4 or 5, 6. This guy was almost a majority right off the bat, blocked from being in the election by none other, folks, than European Union authorities stepping in and fucking with Romania and telling them, you can't let that guy run. Folks, George Skew wants freedom. He wants Romanian freedom, Romanian culture, Romanian laws, the Romanian people protected. And the European Union and the World Economic Forum do not want that, nor does NATO want that, because NATO is being opposed the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, inside Europe, they want to send money and troops into Ukraine to kill and fight and cause World War III. And Hungary says no. Slovakia says no, right? Viktor Orban, right? Mr. Fico, they don't want this. And Romania is saying, no, we want our country, our rule, our laws, and you're not going to tell us what to do. In fact, I love that the Italian Prime Minister, Meloni, said, if you want to go fight in Ukraine, you go right ahead, but you're not going to do it with Italian troops. Why should every country in Europe send the poorest amongst them into the military than send them to die in Ukraine? This is what's going on. They don't want democracy, folks. They want bureaucratic candidates put in to pretend to be elected officials, elected leadership. And the Romanian people, this is the upshot, have erupted in fucking chaos, protests, pissed off people. Why can't they have a free, open, fair election for the people of Romania? No. They want World Economic Forum elections, which is which appointed bureaucrat that we select do you guys want to choose from? In Greece, they went from having protests to massive protests to firebombing the police and the military and fighting in the streets in Greece. Europe, my friends, is in shambles. Now, like I said, in Hungary, Orban, he's good. In Slovakia, Fico is good. In Italy, Meloni is good. In France, Emmanuel Macron is an asshole and an idiot, and he's threatening Russia with his nuclear weapons. And I'm sure in England, the prime minister there, who's a complete jackass, I'm sure he would sacrifice virgins to see if he could stop. I mean, this guy, if you think Democrats are stupid, they're taking their marching orders from these European fucks because it's the same people, the same program. Fight stupid wars, waste your money. Send your young men to die in war. And don't worry, we'll replace you with the United Nations replacement theory, immigration replacement of the population. You send your men to die, they send in third world idiots to rape your women and make retarded babies. That's their plan, folks. So that the people in every country, including all of Europe and all of the United States of America, and yes, you too, Australia, you too, Canada, right? They want retarded people who obey orders and don't mess with the government, but attack each other. Because don't worry, the Shiites and the Sunni Muslims, they're fighting each other again in other countries. They're promising death to one another. Once they defeat the Jews or whatever countries there, then they go after Jews, Christians, then they go after each other. They're fucking morons. They're inbred, low IQ morons. And they want to destroy Canada, Australia, England, Europe, and our country, the United States of America. Democrats want this. The European Union wants this. Trump, do you want this? I don't think so. We need arrests. We need it now. We need to deport all the illegals, not onesie-twosies, but thousands and thousands of these people need to be pointed out and thrown out of this fucking country. Communists, traitors need to be thrown out of this country. What can you and I do? Support your politicians in Washington, D.C. Tell them to get them out. Tell them to make arrests. I go on X every day, Twitter X, and I find politicians and I send them messages and tell them, make arrests, obey the Constitution, obey your oaths. This is our country, folks. Are we going to defend it? Or are we going to allow ourselves to be run over? President Trump went on Fox with Maria Bartiromo and said, quote, "There's something wrong with Democrats." He's not wrong. He is far from wrong. There's something very wrong with them. If it's not 100% retardation, it's an American hatred. In fact, in Capitol Hill, a lot of politicians have said, right, our legislature, lawmakers have said, and they've released disturbing details revealing health issues and mental and behavioral changes in the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans. Now, is this mental decline, or are these just stupid Democrats and rhinos? Is it the Jim Jones juice rotting their brains literally from the inside? And folks, over in Syria right now, Christians by the thousands are being mass murdered. Joe Biden and the Democrats, Israel, the European Union have pushed to kick out Bashar al-Assad. And now there's chaos, there's violence, and there is political collapse of law and order in Syria. Now, when Bashar al-Assad was there, it wasn't a great country, but they were being attacked by terrorists funded by Israel, Europe, and America. Yeah, terrorist groups like ISIS. It's not a fucking lie. Look it up. They're backing the terrorist organizations, and they kicked Bashar al-Assad out. He fled with his family to Russia. And now, and you won't hear this from the mainstream media, it is absolutely silent, folks. Jihad Joe. Who's Jihad Joe, you ask? These guys right here. People with this look on their face and this mentality are killing Christians. They're forcing them on their hands and knees like dogs, calling them dogs, beating them, kicking them, torturing them, and then murdering them. Because that's what Democrats, Europe, Israel, and other countries, not the people of Israel, not the people of Europe, not the people of America, the political leaders want this. And now this is what we got. This is what they got. Why isn't Europe and America and Israel protecting Christians from these terrorist groups that they put in charge? What if that happens in America? What if a bunch of terrorists come in and just start terrorizing the shit out of people, neighborhood to neighborhood to neighborhood? You know the answer. You are the answer. You guys, the Prepared Mind audience, patriots, veterans, you're the answer to this problem. I just wish we could fix us, the problems over there. But we're going to be needed here sooner or later to protect ourselves. Right? Who's going to pay our taxes? Who's going to pay for our property? Who's going to pay for our food, our families? We can't just go fix the problems of the world, can we? All right. Holy cow. We're just down to the last minute of the show. Jolene, do we have anyone else out there with something to say? Bumperats. Holy cow. It's Bonnie Blue with another super chat donation. Kapow. Well, as always said, if there's any more super chats, I will stay on live past 2 hours and read them. And if there's another shot, good golly, I'll take it. And Bonnie Blue, like I said, who is also a great supporter of the channel along with everyone else, says one more shot for the evening. One more shot of Buchanan's Deluxe, sent to us by our good friend Chin Music, who's got a hell of a sense of humor, folks, and a hell of a patriotic streak, just like Bonnie Blue, just like everyone else here. Love you all, seriously. God bless America. Not quite as smooth as Glenfiddich and Glenlivet, but Scotch it is. Bonnie Blue, thank you very much. I want everyone to remember, chance favors the prepared mind. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, self-defense, and your plan. Are you prepared? Keep your eyes open, folks. Keep your morals and your heart where they need to be. Keep your mind flexible. And remember, we're all here in this together. You're not alone. You're not alone. Holy schnit. It is Jace 1701. Good golly, he says, not so fast, sweet prince. Drink up. Great show as always, and Semper Fi, always faithful. John, good to hear from you, buddy. And not so fast is right. One more for the road, my friend, my brother. Oh, good golly. And there it is, right there. Tomorrow, this week, is going to be another rough week at work. I hope that your week is not rough. We've got hard times coming, folks. Hard times coming economically, financially, socially, politically, militarily, internationally. Tough times are a-coming. The only way you get through that, my friends, is to have faith. Start with faith in yourself, what you believe to be true. Faith up here, what you know to be true. Faith up there, what you hope to be true and you've had evidence your whole life. Good things that have happened. Like having good friends, good family, a good life, the blessings. All of these things. You guys have made this channel great. You've helped me become a better spokesman for America. You've supported the channel. You've supported the message. You've supported one another. You've supported the country. Keep doing all those things. Please contact Washington, D.C. Make sure they know what you think and what your demands are. Unlike an election where they just try and get votes, now they have to deal with you and me on a daily basis. When we contact them and say, where's the arrests? What the hell are you doing? Right? Obey your oaths. Obey the Constitution right here. It's not hard. It's written in plain, simple English. It doesn't take some jackass of an attorney to explain to you what the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth, Fifth, Seventh, Eighth, 10th Amendment mean. Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, it's not difficult to understand. It's up to you and me. And here is to you and me, our country, the red, white, and blue, and may the right, may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Yes, sir. Thank you very much there, Johnny. You're a good man. And everyone else, Dan the Man, Chin Music, Bonnie Blue, everybody. I know I can't remember everybody because I'm too fucking old. I'm too fucking tired. But I'm not too old and not too tired to be the American that you guys need me to be. And you guys are the Americans that I need you to be. So I love you all. Have a great night. Tomorrow morning, 0 dark 30. I'll be checking in. Something between now and then is going to happen. And we'll talk about it. God bless you all. God bless America. And Semper Fi. Hoorah!